Hey guys, and welcome to Dark Arts Podcast. This is where we help you guys navigate the dating arena, exposing the manipulation and the dark tactics that people use in the game. Quote to speak. We want to help you guys navigate the relationship field and hoping that nobody can take advantage of you in that space. Today we've got a special one. We're reacting to Joe Budden, his podcast where he was manipulating his co-host Ish. And there's a lot of different parts I want to able to break down for you guys. But I want to say this. It's not gaslighting. A lot of times people run to this gaslighting technique, and the reality of gaslighting is there has to be a pattern of behavior. And there has to be a pattern of behavior over time to make the person feel crazy. This is what I call lying and projection, rather than it being gaslighting. Gaslighting has become a pop culture word, and I understand that. And I want you to understand, in the game of manipulation, you are trying to get the person off balance by destabilizing them. And that's what Joe Budden did here. But Ish also saw he was manipulating and called it out. So we're going to talk a little bit about Joe Budden and, you know, the reason why people manipulate as well. And quickly summarize that. Why people manipulate? Well, one of the reasons is because they have an ego. It's a narcissistic trait. Doesn't mean they're narcissistic, but they have a narcissistic trait. Their ego is too big. And sometimes their fear of being embarrassed or shamed or made to look in a particular way means that people will end up trying to embarrass you as such. Before we get there, we're going to play a little clip, as we always do, because we need to go down the rabbit hole, as always, on this.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All right, let's play this clip. I'm going to stop it at various points because I'm going to point out the particular manipulation that's going on at the point in time. If you haven't watched it all the way through, go somewhere else, because this ain't it. We're going to break it down.
You believe women
You see his
when
point
your
of not
friend is
believing
telling you
the
something.
girl? Do you
You keep doing
Matthew.
it. Stop.
Yo,
Did the girl say he tried to fuck her or something?
Yes. That's why he's sitting there acting light skinned.
Bro.
The fuck are we talking about?
Now, first thing I want you to notice here is, number one, what is the volume of this conversation? Who has raised the volume on this conversation? It is Joe Budden. Joe Budden, point number one, he's raised the volume of the conversation. And oftentimes people show passion when they're raising the volume. But it's going to be interesting because Joe's going to do something really interesting here. Once he raises his volume and Ish meets him, what is he going to do? That's where the manipulation is. It's not him raising his voice. Although some people do use their voice to intimidate as a form of manipulation. That's not what's happening here. What Joe Budden does, and I've seen him do it several times because I watched him on Love and Hip Hop do it with Tahiri, it's a technique that he does, right? And if you're a big brother like myself, you've used this against your siblings. You raise the level, they meet you, and then you calm down and you go, what's wrong with you? Why are you being so angry for? Right? Your calmness becomes a form of manipulation for that person. Let's play a little bit more, right? He's raised the temperature, remember?
keep screaming.
Light skin bullshit.
And stop.
So hold up. Wait. I gotta wait. Let me ask you
You're
one
about to
question.
piss me off, and I'm gonna start screaming back at you.
Wait, can I
Nigga,
ask a question real
stop.
quick?
This is about
Wait,
you
yeah,
always
what?
saying you not coming behind us when we fuck with a bitch. You knew I fuck with the bitch. You met the bitch through me, and you came behind her. You should have never kissed her. If that's your instance.
You
Yo,
keep ignoring me
what's wrong
saying.
with y'all niggas sitting here
I have
acting like
not
I'm
met- I do
crazy.
not
This
re-
nigga be fucking lying.
Ish, I don't know this girl from you.
You do.
Now, notice now that Joe's voice has gone back down to a much more calmer level. There's a reason. Because what he wants to do next is now insult Ish. And he's going to do it by calling him a name, by calling him emotional. Now, this is really important. This is point number 2. He's raised the level. Once Ish has met him there, he's going to climb down, and then he's going to use it as a way of insulting him. It's such a great manipulation technique. And he's going to out him and say, you are being irrational, i.e., quote, the word underneath being emotional, right? Which is tied into a lot of into pop culture, or should say subculture, whereas as human beings, as men, maybe someone might call it toxic masculinity, whatever you want to call it, when we call people emotional, what we mean is you're behaving like a woman. No offense to anybody out there, right? And so what you're actually doing is insulting a person, saying you don't have a good control of your emotions. Right? Again, it's to embarrass the other person again, and to make yourself look better. Right? So watch again now. He's lowering his voice now.
You met
I'm
him through
telling
me. You
you
get the
I don't.
convenient amnesia. So any bitch I
No,
fuck behind
Ish,
you, I don't know neither.
no.
I meet him through you.
No, Ish, that's your
See how
bad.
easy that be?
You like fucking
You see how
behind
easy
niggas.
that be?
You like fucking behind
though.
niggas.
I don't. I like women.
I don't even ask niggas.
I like women.
Yo, you fuck?
So what?
I don't do
So-
none of that.
so-
That's your bag.
I
Stop trying to
don't-
put
I'm
me
not saying
in your
it's not.
bag.
You do that
I'm
to me
not
every
in your
day.
bag. I didn't try to fuck your little mutt from the streets. I had a kiss.
Point number 3 is that now, originally what he said, and you have to listen very carefully, right? He first off denied it by saying, I didn't know her through you, okay? All right? I already knew her, all right? And now he's going to belittle and devalue the woman, because by devaluing and belittling a woman, what are you getting pissed off for? right? He's now going to minimize your pain that you feel because he wants to let you know that it doesn't mean anything to him, right? But why was he screaming and shouting before? It didn't mean anything to him, but he was so passionate about it. And now he wants to calm it down because now he's going for a different technique. He's going to try and draw you out, right? He's going to draw you out. So now he's going to go, well, that mutt of a woman, but wait, hold on a minute. That mutt you kissed. Wait, hold on a minute. That mutt, sir, you kissed. You devalued her because you're trying to attach her to him, but you actually kissed her. Right? So how are you going to insult that girl and devalue her, and then you end up kissing it? And then try to make it as an insult to him because it's his. It's really mind-blowing, right? Manipulative technique.
And you emotional about it.
I'm not.
Like you keep being emotional when we have internet on a girl.
No, it's not about the girl. It's about you lying.
Then why don't you believe your friend?
Because you fucking lying.
He now accuses him of being emotional. I think both of them have been emotional, right? Now, first and foremost, everybody's emotional. The reality is both of these people are shouting at the top of their lungs to get their point across. Both of these people are shouting and screaming to let the other person know that they're right. And yet Joe Budden is trying to make it one party by, and this way people might think he's gaslighting, by projecting and saying that actually, no, it's you that's causing issue. You're the one that's been emotional. You're the one that's actually, you're the one that's actually out of pocket. And I love this term here. This was by Psych Central. A type of manipulation is called jealousy manipulation, right? For example, a person with manipulative tendencies might cause tension and drama, but blame someone else for creating that energy. Joe is trying to say that his brother's been emotional, but he was the first one that was emotional. He's the one that was raising it, and he's going to say it later on. This is going to come up later on, so pay attention to this. It's going to come up later on. He's going to accuse him of raising his voice and saying that he's screaming and shouting. And yet Joe's doing the exact same thing. He creates the drama and the tension and then blames Ish for that drama and tension. It's manipulation, right? Okay, I love this word, deception, not through lies, but through a selective and strategic use of truth. I love that. Okay, or facts twist, lying, excuse making, being two-faced, blaming the victim for causing their own victimization, deformation of the truth, strategic disclosure of withholding or key information, right? And that's what he's been doing, right? Because he tried to make it off like he wasn't going behind his back to try and do anything with his girl, but then admits to us that he actually kissed the mutt, apparently.
You've admitted this to me before. You changing your story for the pod.
I rest my case.
You changing your story to look innocent for the pod. Nigga, we've had this conversation about this bitch before.
I rest my case.
JBP, where would you be without JBP?
I don't even have these talks. I don't even have these type of talks with nobody but him.
Bro, you brought this shit up, bro.
Yes,
so stop saying I don't have these talks if you bringing it up.
It's funny to me until I know that you have true emotions behind this.
Now, you notice that obviously Ish calls him out and says, hey, look, you know what? How are you telling me that you don't talk about this, but you're the one bringing it up? Joe Budden, listen, if you're someone like Joe Budden, if you don't call them out on their ish and you're not very strong on your own sense of reality, you will lose, because he happily will try to twist your reality and your world upside down by lying and deceiving, all right, and projecting, okay, and by avoiding accountability and twisting narratives. He doesn't mind telling half-truths. He doesn't mind being deceptive, right? He brings a conversation onto the pod and then tries to flip it again by saying we don't even have this kind of conversations, but you just brought it up. So why did you have the conversation? If you don't have this kind of conversation, why did you bring it up? Because he's trying to stand on a moral superiority. It's one of the arts of war, trying to stand on a moral superiority above his opponent. But the reality is, if you really understand what's going on, you can call him out on his ish.
Just scream to the top of your lungs.
And you didn't.
You didn't let me finish.
Nigga, you were screaming off mic.
You're still not letting me finish.
You were screaming off mic, beating the tables and all that dumb shit. And then you try to make me look emotional for the pod. Bro, stop.
I'm not done with my sentence.
Stop.
You screaming to the. You trying to say that you don't have emotions
Joe,
behind.
don't give a fuck about that girl.
Then why'd you just say it?
I'm asking you a question.
I don't know.
So as you see there, there's even a second video actually you can actually watch, which goes a bit further on as well, right? So we've got he has insulted him, he's raised his voice, he lies, he tells a story in public, he accuses him of being emotional whilst being emotional himself, and then downplays the woman, insults her, whilst at the same tendency ended up kissing her. Said he changed his opinion from behind the scenes to what's public, and then we get obviously I don't have these kind of conversations because, you know, I'm so morally great, right? But in reality, he's manipulating the whole situation. Manipulation is a coercive, unethical behavior driven by the goal of exploiting or controlling another person for their own personal gain. What is that gain? Oftentimes it is control, ego, money, power, sex, emotions, and then there's sometimes with lower self-esteem. In this case, what you have just seen is the ability of ego to be able to play a role in this situation. When ego is the thing that is the ego that's leading the charge, the person is concerned about their reputation and upholding a particular image. And they're happy to manipulate you in order to keep that image. They don't mind dominating you and coercing you in order to stick to their image. Their image is very important. Has very close ties to narcissistic traits as well. So we're going to leave it there. Like I always say, listen, we're here to help expose the manipulation and the dark arts that are used. And we want you guys to be safe out there, okay? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded.